We're the JacksonWink Academy. We got Justin O'Connor with us. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. So we want to hear about you, your martial arts journey, your MMA journey. First off, where are you from?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. Been there since I was 11, but I moved around a little bit. I was in Illinois briefly, and then Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was pretty big for my wrestling career. And then after that, I went to Arizona for a Bachelor's of Sciences in Mathematics. I only got halfway through that, but I'm planning on returning to it once I'm done with my MMA career.
So you've bounced around kind of a bit.
Yep, most definitely.
So what's that been like, kind of being a nomad, kind of moving around so much?
It's been a little bit weird, but it hasn't been like the toughest thing. Growing up has been a little bit weird just because unlike most kids growing up, I didn't really have like a solid group of friends. Like I would go ahead and like change up my group of friends based on the area that I was in, or sometimes I would go ahead and have a bad group of friends, so sometimes a move was also necessary. And it would also work with my dad's job as well, just because he needed a new job, I needed new friends, and then it would go from there.
It sounded like wrestling was something that stuck around for a while.
Yes, so I actually started wrestling and jiu-jitsu around the same time. When I was 13, up until then, I was studying karate and taekwondo and going around with the stand-up martial arts. But once I was introduced to the ground, it was a whole different type of movement and self-defense that I just grew to love. So yeah, I would say although I first started with stand-up, ground is where I'm most comfortable. Kind of go from there.
What has it been about martial arts that's attracted you?
I've always been active since I was a kid. I guess that's one of the things that's also kind of like made me stick out from other kids is like I get a little like hyperactive and just like, you know, excited about stuff, and so I needed a way to like really project some of that energy into something else, and martial arts just really kind of gravitated towards me because you know, it was a great way to move, ways to defend yourself, ways to go ahead and do some like cool moves that you saw as a kid. Power Rangers was definitely a big one for me right there. Being able to see these guys go ahead and like jump up in the air for like 10 seconds at a time and all that, and be able to like fight all the bad guys and go from there. I just really enjoyed being able to be a part of that.
So with your martial arts background, what would you consider big accomplishments that you've already had?
One of the big things I would say that I think a lot of people would agree with me on is being able to integrate my wrestling and jiu-jitsu into almost like a free flow. And when I say that, I mean not just distinguishing wrestling and jiu-jitsu separately, but being able to kind of have them work one and the same with each other. I've been wrestling and practicing jiu-jitsu for about 7 years now, so around my 4th or 5th year practicing, I was really able to like get the oh man moment right there, where I was able to like really make the two work together, and I've been super happy about that. But even bigger than that is just coming here to JacksonWink and being able to improve my stand-up. I feel like it's improved way more since I've been here.
And all this traveling you've done, all these journeys, how did the path lead here to JacksonWink? How did you end up here in Albuquerque?
So I was originally going to school in Arizona for a Bachelor's of Sciences in Mathematics. My whole family loves math. My grandfather's a rocket scientist. My mom was super big into math. My dad's super into science. You know, we just love being able to crunch the numbers, so to speak. When I was in Arizona, I was there for about 2 years, and then around my 3rd year I had to go ahead and start interning, and by that time I realized that I would have to spend a lot less time practicing MMA and more time into school, and that wasn't exactly exciting for me, so I decided to go ahead and put school on hold and then pursue my MMA career while I was young. I did, of course, have to save money in order to come here. I worked about 4 or 5 months before I was able to raise enough money to come here to the greatest gym in the world. Here I am.
And now, I've seen you around the gym for quite some time. How long have you been here?
I arrived here February 1st of 2017, so I've been here for about a year and a couple months now. It's been a really good journey for me. I've made a lot of friends since I've been here. A lot have come, a lot have gone, but just the solid feel of being somewhere where champions are made has always gone ahead and pushed me. So even when I'm sad when other people leave, I always have hope in my heart knowing that there's going to be more people I'll be able to see, and the hope that they'll be coming back. That's me.
Well, now what's the next step in the journey for you? You're here, you've been fighting. What's the plan?
With my last fight, I feel like I've really gone ahead and hit an achievement, which is being able to stay calm during the fight. Within my last couple fights, I've really had somewhat of a panicky mindset when it comes to it. So being able to stay calm and fight out there as I do here during practice at the greatest gym in the world has been spectacular for me. So I'm hoping to go ahead and incorporate that in at least 5 to 7 more fights. As I said, I am still young, so I'm hoping to go and turn pro around 21, 22 and go from there. But until then, I want to become the most accomplished athlete that I can before I go ahead and step into the pro scene. So,
Having traveled down this martial arts journey for quite some time, when did MMA really start to enter that you wanted to compete, you thought about MMA?
I've been competing ever since I've been young. I've been competing in karate tournaments, wrestling tournaments, jiu-jitsu tournaments, any tournament exactly that has me against another guy, I've always been excited about. I mean, trophies and everything are cool there, but just the ability to go ahead and showcase my abilities to the world has always been exciting for me. But more than that, I would say that just the ability to have all these people watch me in, the lights and, the crowd and energy and everything like that. It's an experience that you can't get unless you're in there.
What was it like the first amateur cage fight?
Honestly, it was exciting all the way up until the point where I had the cage door closed on me. It was kind of like a oh man moment right there, but it was good. It was only really like an oh man moment for the first round, and then after that, in the second round, I was really able to feel my adrenaline pumping, feel the crowd go ahead and go wild, and just do what I love to do, which is wrestle and go down and submit my guy. That fight, I believe I stopped the guy TKO style. Really fun to be able to step in there, not only as a MMA fighter, but also part of the team, because I was competing in the Elite Amateur Fight League during that time.
Coming off of a win, tell us about just a couple weeks ago, you got your hand raised again.
I won't lie, it has been somewhat of a mini journey for me, as after my first win, I felt, oh man, I'm the greatest guy out there, this is how it's going to be. I'm just going to have like a complete win streak and go from there right into pro. But I do feel that the 2 defeats I had afterwards really helped me grow as a martial artist, and be a little bit more humbled and understand what more is needed for the sport. It's good to have ability, but it's more important to also have mental confidence in there as well. So that's something I've been building up for my last fight. To have my hand raised again just felt amazing, because I was able to really see the progress and all the work that I had been putting in mentally, physically, and just emotionally, just into the sport. So seeing all that accomplished and seeing the result from it just made me feel amazing.
Do you have a why you do this, and why you love combat sports?
I mean, other than the fact that I just love, being out there and, having these experiences, other than that, I would say just I really love to go ahead and fight, I really love going in here every morning and seeing all the different type of fighters that come in. I love the feeling of having, my hand raised. I love the feeling of, having good training partners. I love the feeling of being able to push myself further than where I was a day or 2 ago. And I love the feeling of looking back and seeing all that I've accomplished, The why, I would say, is because I want to keep on going, because I want to be able to look back in my life and say, wow, I was a small little seed and now I've grown into this huge tree. I want to be able to say that I've accomplished something with my life. That's why.
You talk about your fight mentality, what your thoughts are when you go into the cage.
That's actually one of the things that I've been working on. I used to have this, especially when it came to wrestling, this mentality of like, oh, I'm really going to go ahead and like get this guy down, I'm really going to go and beat him up, and just the idea of like trying to hurt him. But I've also realized, that's not me. I don't compete in these sports to try and hurt people. I compete to show that I'm better, and there's a difference between the two of those. So with this last fight, my mentality wasn't that I was going to go ahead and, destroy the guy. My mentality was that I'm going to go ahead and slow things down, I'm going to stay calm under pressure, and I'm going to go ahead and do what I love, which is perform. With those three things in mind, I was able to get the job done, and I think I'm going to really be able to apply this a lot further in my MMA career than most people have in the past.
With the math degree and everything, do you feel yourself to be an analytical fighter?
Yes, and that has been one of the things that I think has stopped me in the past when it comes to progress, not only in training, but also in my fights. I think too much about what I'm doing, and a lot of times that goes ahead and stops my body from reacting. But nowadays, I'm trying to go and really have more of a looser feel when it comes to fighting and when it comes to practice, just because when I allow my body to move and I allow myself to not think, but just do, then that's where I'm able to make my most progress. As an analytical fighter, and to other analytical fighters out there, I would say, keep that part of yourself out there when it comes to your martial arts career, but don't rely on it too much. Allow yourself to experiment a little bit and have fun.
What's one of the best lessons so far that you've learned in this martial arts journey?
Don't give up. As hard as it is to go ahead and come in and get your butt whooped and heal yourself up, or get up when your leg has been kicked off, or come in when you're feeling down, don't give up. Just keep going. You'll honestly feel a lot better knowing that you've gone to practice and gotten 1% better each day than to just stay in bed, or to just go ahead and do something else and think, oh, maybe I'm not meant for this. Believe in yourself more, and you'll be able to accomplish it.
Biggest influence on your fight career so far?
I'd say the biggest influence here, other than the constant grouping of people that have been coming in and putting in the work, has been the coaches. More specifically, Coach Joey Villasenor. He's really gone ahead and helped me progress not only as a fighter but also as a person. Although we have different personalities, I feel he really gets me when it comes to training, and he understands where I'm lacking and where my strengths are. So being able to balance the two and understand what needs to get done that day is just really helped me on my journey, and I feel very grateful for having him here.